Okay, let's look at the two problems we just did. We did them with the sample space, but let's do the two problems again using a shortcut. Okay, the shortcut for the probability of two events, one event followed by another event, is to simply multiply the individual probabilities together. Okay, so let's look at this again. I'll show you. So you have 3 marbles in a bag, 2 greens, 1 purple. Okay, the first example we did, we drew a marble from the bag, we put the marble back, and then we drew a second marble. Okay, find the probability they are both green. Okay, I'm going to do this separately. We're going to look at the probability of the first being green, and then we're going to find the probability that the second marble is green. And then we're going to multiply these together. Okay, the probability of the first one being green. Okay, we have 2 greens and 1 purple, right? Okay, so the favorable outcomes would be the number of greens. Okay, the number of greens. There are 2. The total outcomes would be the total of 3 marbles. A little F for favorable there and a little T for total on the bottom. So the probability of the first one being green is 2/3. Okay, now keep in mind we put the marble back for the second draw. Okay, so for the second draw, we have the same marbles again, right? The same exact marbles we had the first time. So the probability of the second one being green would also be 2 favorables, 2 greens, over 3 total. Okay, so I found the individual probabilities separately. Okay, now I'm going to find the probability of the first one being green and the second one being green. All we do is multiply those 2 individual probabilities together. 2/3 times 2/3. Okay, multiply the numerators. 4. Multiply the denominators. 3 times 3, 9. Okay, and that doesn't reduce. Okay, 4/9. Okay, does that sound familiar? That's the answer we got when we did this problem with the sample space. Okay, let's look at the other one. This time we're putting the first marble back. Okay, so the probability of the first green and the probability of the second green, we're going to do those individually. And then we're going to multiply them together. Okay, the probability of the first green, okay, the original 2 greens and 1 purple. Okay, that's going to be 2 favorables, the 2 green, over the 3 total, 2/3. So that'd be 2/3. Okay, now keep in mind, we didn't put that green back. Okay, we've got to just slow down and think about this a minute. We did not put the first green back. So when I do my probability of the second green, of drawing a second green, I have to imagine that 1 green marble not being there anymore. Okay, it's not there anymore because I already pulled it out. So the probability of the second green, okay, now, okay, there's 1 green, 1 favorable, there's 2 total outcomes. So now that's a probability of 1/2. Okay, just got to be careful. If we pulled a green out, we have 1 less green when we determine the second probability. So now, when we find the probability using the shortcut, probability of the first green followed by the second green, would equal 2/3 times 1/2. Okay, multiply the numerators, 2. Multiply the denominators, which is 6. Now that can be reduced to 1/3. Okay, and that is the probability we got the first time with the sample space. Okay, so the shortcut. If you have one event followed by a second event, okay, just take the individual probabilities, multiply them together.